All right, yeah, this, as you can see, this is a little fox. He's inside a snow globe. I really filled up the area with a snow globe. This is a little 4x4 piece of watercolor paper. And I don't know, I could have probably made the snow globe a little smaller, but I was playing around, and this is what it ended up being. So here we are. Well, I went ahead and base coated the background with two different colors. I mixed these two, and these are part of my new kits. But what I did was I went ahead and mixed these two colors. These are out of I have a Cascade set, Northwest set, and Manchester set. You can see these two colors. And what I did is I really like the Colony Blue, but I wanted to tone it down and lighten it up. And so that's where this color came in. So I mixed those two. It was heavier on the bisque side. And I'll have all that written out in the instructions. Okay, so you know what the what the mix is. Okay, so I went ahead and base coated the background with that, and we'll go ahead and get started on the bottom area of the globe there. And I was thinking I would go in with a darker color first. Let me get the right brush here. So I'm going to mix brown earth also and make that a little lighter. So I'm mixing that with bisque also. So I have a lighter brown. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and get that bottom area of the globe done. And I'm just base coating this in. So base coat is opaque. Or at least this base coat is opaque. So I have this little area. I want to bring this out a little bit more here. There. So that brown is going to dry a little darker than what I put it on as. And then I'm going to lighten it up with a lighter brown. And you know how I really like to do like the damp dry brushing, that kind of thing? I'm going to try something. I'm going to try it with my flat brush that I just base coated with. We'll see if I can do this. So I'm loading my brush with the bisque color, right? I'm taking out most of the color on a paper towel. So I just have a hint of color on my brush. And I'm going to just try to pull some of that color down. Let me try this again. Okay, load my brush, take it out on a paper towel. And let's see if I can just kind of do a little bit of damp dry brushing and pick up some of the, see how it's leaving some like spots there? I like that. So I'm picking up the texture of the watercolor paper because I really want to lighten that brown color down a little bit. So we're just going to go all the way across like that. Damp dry brushing, which is a little bit of moisture in your brush, not a lot. And a little bit of color in your brush. So you want to be able to pick up the texture of the watercolor paper, like so. Kind of fun. Okay, I like that. Kind of gives it almost a wood grainy look in a way. We'll try to make it look somewhat like wood. Okay, now we can move on to the rest. Now that same brown earth that I had mixed together to come up with the base for this, I'm going to use that same brown earth in my fox, okay? And I'm also going to mix it to a lighter brown with my bisque. All these ratios will be in the E pattern. Okay, I just brought that color back down to a lighter color, and I am going to use a round brush to do my damp dry brushing. My round brush is kind of messy, but I'm going to use it anyway. So I put a little bit of water in my round brush, mix it into my paint, and then take the paint out on a paper towel. So it's like this. Just take it out, a little bit out on your paper towel, okay? You might have to pick a little bit more up. After that, you'll just have to see when you go to your piece. Now I'm going to be putting in, it's kind of like base coating the brown areas of my fox with this color. Looks like I have to mix a little more. Okay, so I'm going to go up into the ears. And kind of around the berries here. Around my, there we go, around my holly. Up into this ear. Okay, and this is just a round brush that is slightly damp, and that's why I call it damp dry brushing. Or we're really not doing a lot of dry brushing right now because we're just trying to get the color on and kind of more opaque right now. So might take a few layers. Just be patient with the process. Okay, that's pretty good there. And then his kind of body and his legs in front are the same color. I'm just going to go right over those legs. Okay. Okay, I'm going to also put it at the bottom of his tail. So he's the top area of his tail is lighter. Bring that over. Okay. We'll do some lightening up on it later, but we'll just get the basic colors in first. Okay. All right. Okay, let's take opal. This is another color from my new kit. And we'll get the chest hair in. This guy is a handsome fox. Like I said, this is a 4x4 piece of watercolor paper. And it's kind of nice to do things on watercolor paper because it's just paper, right? And if you mess up, you can either get yourself a new piece or just paint over it and start over again. And the cost is pretty minimal. I'm going to do the snow in the background with this color too. We'll lighten it up later with some highlights. And I'm just kind of working around the elements. Okay. You'll probably need about 2 coats just to get that nice and opaque. We'll be coming in with a different color, like I said, to highlight. So I'm just going to work around my leaves. More opal. This is the opal color. What I love about these tubes, and I was saying this the other night, is they are see-through. I love that. Just so happy they went that route. And it was a surprise to me when I found out they did that. I was like, oh, you guys, that's so awesome. So nice clear tubes in our new paint kits. Okay. Just working around a few things here. Just so I know where they are. I don't really want to have to retrace those elements, so and like I said, you'll probably need a couple coats just to make it nice and opaque. This is the kind of a little hill of snow behind the tree. Okay. A little bit more on his chest. Okay, we'll come back and lighten that up in a little bit. Let's go ahead and use the same color where his eyes are. We are good with that color. I'll get a few little touches here, and then we'll move on to another color. We'll come back and we'll touch up things. Okay. So this is a great background color by Josani. It's called Lines. Looks like this. It's a really pretty green. I'm going to use that on all my leaves. I just adore this green. So we'll go ahead and get our leaves worked in. Oh, went out of the lines a little bit there. Oops. I know some of you guys have this color because I use this on all the other blocks. We're just getting our base coating done right now. Okay. I'm good with my green. I'm going to go ahead and put my yellow in. I just love I love this color marigold, so I'm going to use marigold for my star. It's a background color by Josanya also. These background colors are a little more opaque than some of the tube colors. The tube colors, some of them are opaque also. You just have to look on the label. This kind of reminds me like of a moon yellow or a cheese color. Love this color. Okay. I am going to work on his little hat here. Oh, I forgot the little ball. I want that also to be that opal color. We have holly growing on our property. It's quite the bush. It really does grow well here in Washington. It grows like a weed. So I'm going to take some Naphthol Crimson and mix it in with my marigold so I get a kind of a softer tomato red. I don't know, I might put it on my scarf, but I know I want it up here on the hat, so I'll start there. And I just mix the two, Naphthol Crimson and marigold. I'm just still trying to decide. I know I'm going to be doing red on the berries, and yeah, I think I'm going to bring yellow down here, and I'll just do white up there. Okay, I got it. I think I know what I'm doing now. Okay, so this is where I'm going to go. I'm going to create a yellow scarf. Thinking about doing these little separately here. All right, should we start highlighting? Okay, let's get our snow in, and I'm going to just go ahead and use my warm white here to do my highlights and my snow. Let's do that first. And I'm using the same round brush and the damp dry brush technique. So let's just go over the snow. I'm going to leave patches or just like little touches of that color underneath showing through. It's like kind of like creating sparkle in the snow. And see how I'm just kind of stroking it here and there. And I'm slowly building up that white color. And adding little touches of snow. I might even put glitter on this later. I think that would be, I love sparkly snow. Okay. All right, let's take that same warm white and I'm going to pull some highlights down from the top of the tail. I don't want to cover the whole area, just the tip. Okay. It's nice to have a little creative time to get your brain settled down. Do you like to paint in the morning, afternoon, or evening? It's kind of fun to paint in the evening, kind of like, get into your zone, chill out a little bit and relax as you get ready for bed. I'm just working on each ridge here. What do they call them? Ribs? I'm going beyond the boundary here for the little ball and the hat, so it looks a little fuzzy. I'm just putting some highlight in the middle area where his eyes are. Okay, I am going to use my Turner's Yellow, which is in my little Northwest painting kit. This is a color, Turner's Yellow. I'm going to do some highlighting on my yellow because I love that yellow with marigold. Love, love it. I'm doing some damp dry brush highlighting. Put most of the highlight at the top 2 points on the star there. Then bring it down. So these are the damp dry brush highlights I'm doing with Turner's Yellow over my marigold scarf. And I'm doing each section separately. It takes a few layers. It's good to just be patient and put more layers on, but it's a little brighter at the top of each of these little sections of the scarf. A little brighter over here to the side. A little bit more up here. There. Okay, I'm mixing some of my Turner's Yellow on my palette with my leaf. So I create a lighter green, and I'm just going to work on the tips of my leaves here. You want a little more Turner's Yellow than leaf green so that you can just get a nice yellow green to highlight your leaves. And just work from the tip and bring it down like so. Just kind of feather it down. you'll have to do, like I said, each area that you do a highlight, you want several coats. So this is the first coat. It's not as bright because it is the first coat. As I continue to add more layers, it'll brighten up. I just feel like I need to add some warm white to that. So I'm going to add a little more warm white, to it, my mix, and then continue with my highlighting here. The yellow toned down the green, but it didn't really brighten it too much. So maybe I'll change that to just warm white. One leaf at a time. Okay. And then a little more on my holly. And I'm just working on the tips. I'll kind of clean up a lot of this when I use my pencils. Okay. I can tell I need a little more yellow there. Heather, I'm using the Sure Touch Select Round 4010, and it's a number 3. It's kind of a soft brush. You know, it's the black filament. It's kind of a soft brush, but it works good for the, I like the soft brush for the damp dry brushing. Okay, I'm just gonna, here we go. Add a little touch here to brighten it. Okay. Alrighty, we're getting there. We're about ready to start in with our pencils. I'm gonna do some highlighting on the red though. So I just added a little warm white to my red. It's gonna create kind of a pink, but that's okay. I like pink and red. I'm just gonna put a little highlight on this side of the hat. Okay. Yeah, that little workhorse brush. The 3 and the 4, I use those a lot. Okay. Right. I'm ready to start in with the pencils. We are going to do the little bow there, so I'm going to use a ruler and put a line across here. So I want to make sure that is lined up right. There's a line there. And then I'm going to go ahead and transfer some of my details here. We have a heart there. I would have forgotten all that stuff. Okay. Let's just put that little heart in there. I'm going to go ahead and fill that in with that red. The red that I created with, it's not coming to me, with the marigold. And if it's not flowing, you can always add a little bit of water. Just keep it so it's not too much water. And then you can go ahead and put a little highlight on that top section of the heart. This is kind of that pinky color. I just mixed a little warm white with my red. There. Okay. So fun. He's coming along. He's coming along. Okay. I will get my eyes on. Gotta figure out where my eyes are here. And his nose is right here, actually. I need to erase that a little bit. Okay, the nose is up here more. And then you've got a line that comes down for the mouth. Okay, I'm going to put my branch in with this sepia. And the branch comes all the way down like so. Kind of curves down. And I'm going to thicken it down here. And then we'll go ahead and put all our little, I need to sharpen this. All our little vein lines inside of our leaves. Oops. And the connecting lines. And this is sepia. All your little berry branches. You want a sharp pencil so you can go over all those little nooks and crannies that are coming from the textured watercolor paper. I need to see my drawing for a second. Make sure I do this right. It goes this way. And then we have one here. This one goes up and over. There, I think I got them all. And then you can kind of thicken up a few little areas where those branches come off the main stem. Thicken. I'm just shading the edges here. Okay, I'm liking that. I'm liking it. Just simple because I just use a sepia to shade here at this fold. It's not really a fold, but the layer of the bottom of the snow globe. I have a bow that I need to put in there. I think I will, I've got to think about it here. I think I will put it in with white. I probably should do that now. I'm using warm white. I'll look at my drawing here. I want to put baker's twine in if I can make it happen. That was my thought here. So I'm just going to lightly sketch in a bow here. And bring it up. I'm putting a little loop here. This will all be in the E pattern so you can trace it on. You won't have to freehand it. And this side will go up and then down. And then I want to kind of bring it off into the background here. Okay. So I'm going to switch over to a liner brush. I'll do much better. That was my sketch of it in there. I need a liner brush. And I like to just do things at a section at a time. Take my time with it. And my goal is to create baker's twine. So we'll see how this goes. We'll put the red in with the pencil. Some more. All right. Okay, we'll see how it goes. I feel like I went a little too wide over here, so I'm going to try to take some of that off with some water. So one thing about Josania's is you can go back and remove things if you don't wait too long. I'm just using a wet brush. There we go. I like that better. It's a little thinner at the top of that loop. Okay. Let's put a little more on the middle there. All right. I'm going to go ahead and use my brown. I still have my brown. I really like how that turned out there. I'm going to use this to kind of add some lines and do a little bit of shading. So I'm going to put a line here in between in that little fold of the scarf. This will kind of help clean things up. I'm going to go in and just line around the chest hair here. And around some of the elements. I'm going to try not to have a solid, super solid line. Like kind of break it up a little bit as you line so that it looks a little more natural. There is a line here that separates the body from the tail. So we'll put that there. Let's bring down this line here. Okay, let's go ahead and shade right here where the tail is at the base of the tail. Just separating the front of the body from that tail. And then let's go ahead and add lines around some of our scarf pieces. Like I said, just kind of break it up a little bit. Don't make it a super solid line. That really helps with it, giving it a more natural look. Put a little shading at the bottom of my heart, just a tad. You don't want to go too dark there. And then let's work around his face. Put in that little mouth line. I don't know if we can see that very good. We're going to color that in with black paint in just a minute. Okay, and his ears. Ooh, going a little hard there. Now we'll have some shading. Let's put a little bit of shading down at the bottom of his mouth here. Just a little bit. And then a little shading at the tips of his ears. So more pressure at the tip, and as you come down, less pressure. Really try to overlap those strokes. Little small strokes. Try to overlap them. A little shading at the tips of his ears. And how about right in this area here too? I'm trying to see. This is actually a berry. There's a berry. There's a berry. Maybe I should line around my holly so I know where it's at. There we go. Okay, so we need some shading up here coming down from the green. If I hold up my paper a little bit like that, I can see it better. So a little more shading coming down from. You see how I'm just very lightly touching the pencil to the paper. This brand of pencil is very soft, and so you don't really need to use too much pressure to get the color to come off. That's the difference between the Prismacolor brand and maybe a brand that's more of a school grade. The Prismacolor is a professional grade. The Prismacolor Premier, I should probably clarify. Prismacolor Premier is more professional. Let's do a little shading at the tip here. Okay. All right. We do have his feet here, and I need to draw those in. This will be on your pattern. His feet right there. Oops. I need to erase that. Let's try that again. Okay, so feet here, and he has his little paws. and one here, but his paw is not showing because it's under the snow. We're going to do some shading behind the legs so those legs pop out into the front. Do that on the other side too. And let's shade on the right paw. Help those pop out a little bit too. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and just put some little dashed lines between these ribs on the hat. And how about a little shading up here on the hat? Just a touch. And a little lining around the star, just a touch there also. Clean up the star. Okay. I'm just going to line around his eyes so I know where my paint needs to go. And his nose too. Okay. All right, let us see. Oh, one more thing. I want to bring the snow. There's a little line right here. Just bring that out. That separates the snow. Okay, let's get our red pencil. I want to make that baker's twine. I'm wondering if I shouldn't put some highlights. Maybe if I shouldn't have just done poppy red highlights up here. I like that color. Looks more Christmassy. Okay, well, we'll try this. Okay, so it's kind of like a vertical candy stripe. Create our baker's twine. Just go back and forth, get it in there nice and dark. Yeah, that looks good. I like it. That's fun. He's coming along. His personality's starting to come out, right? That's one of the funnest things is to name a design. I love it. I get my dictionary out, start looking up things. I feel like Geppetto. Okay, a few more marks. Oh, I love it. That's fun. Yeah, I think I really do like the poppy red for a highlight. Okay. I am going to damp dry brush just a little highlight inside his ear. Yeah, I like that. And that is that bisque color. Bisque. Reminds me of soup. To tomato soup bisque. Okay, I'm going to put another layer just to brighten it up. Otherwise, it's hard to see those ears. They kind of disappear. It's nice to have a little highlight inside them. Okay. Just a few more color pencil items to do before we get the rest of the painting done. Okay, I like that much better. He's looking kind of foxy. Okay, I am going to add a little highlight to his front paws because they are disappearing too. So I might have to go darker than that. I'm just adding a little bit of brown earth. A little lighter. So get those front paws. In the E pattern, all this will be done in the right order because I'm kind of jumping around. All right, let's do his other paw. And then I'm going to add a bit more bisque to brighten it up further. I'm going to have to go back with my pencil, fix that. Okay, that's cute. He looks like a puppy, doesn't he? Kind of looks like a puppy to me. Our little puppy fox. Okay. One thing I want to do here too, I feel like I gotta fix that. Let's go ahead and shade right in this area here. And when that dries, I can do some shading there. Okay. Cute. I can tell he's going to be really cute when I get those eyes on. I'm going to brighten up this a little more. Okay. Righty. Okay, another pencil. We need our white pencil. And this is going to be the magic part of this. Okay, so we need a white. And we're going to work on the globe itself and make it look like glass. Go ahead and line around. Oh, goodness, I must be really pressing hard today. Go ahead and line around your globe with the white. And I was telling the VIPs, I kind of like my globe a little off. Like it's not a perfect circle. I kind of like that. It's kind of, I like it. I like the shape of it. Okay, so Now we're going to highlight. We're just going to take, I should probably start down here. We're going to take it in sections, and we're just going to highlight away from that line into the globe itself. And it's going to be brightest against the edge there. So more pressure up against the edge of the globe. And then bring the color in. And it should be like, where we're going to highlight the edges, but we're going to bring that color into the globe itself too. So it almost looks like a different color inside the globe. Or at least a lighter color of the background, right? And that's your glass. So we'll bring some of it into the globe like that. And I want it really nice and bright up against that edge. It could be like a crispy, almost crispy there, right? Okay, I'm going to keep going along. Just softening that edge inside the globe. Ugh! You do need to use a little pressure to get that nice bright white line. We might have to add some paint to it because I really want a nice bright line all the way around it. This is the magic part. Isn't that fun? Okay, keep working all the way around the globe like that. More pressure up against the edge. I'm going to have to sharpen again because this is just unacceptable to have it not sharp. Okay, a little bit more here. Okay, and then I'm going to bring that white in a little farther. Just softly bring that color inside. Let it go beyond the branch a little bit even. One thing I need to do is I need to take that darker color around each of the leaves. Yeah, I think I am going to put a white line around the globe with paint. So I want it really nice and crispy. Some contrast there. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm going to go back with my darker brown color. Where did you go? Dark brown. There you are. And just put a little line at the base of each of those leaves so it gives them some contrast against the background. And same thing here, though. You don't want it to be so strong that it doesn't look really natural. So I'm breaking up my lines and concentrating on the base of the leaf. We are almost done, you guys. I'm just going to put my dots in. Do a little line around the globe. Okay. Oh, he's fun. Okay, let's put our black in. So we need carbon black. Put his eyes in, make him wake up. And his nose is right here. It's like a little oval. Okay, we need to put in our dots. Let's put in our little berries. And I still love the color that comes from mixing marigold and naphtha crimson. So just gonna get the color ready, and I'll just use my stylus to add those dots. Okay, let's see. We have some up here. And then a nice one right there. And one right here. How about let's do a large one here and then a small one. And then we have some here. I could have done these maybe in white, but I don't know if the white would look so good on his head. So I just decided to go with the red. Let's just put some random ones down here to kind of break it up. And how about up here too? I have one right here. Nice little large one there. How about here? Yeah, fun. Fun. Okay. And then I want to put some little painted lines on his scarf, on the end of his scarf. Maybe, I'm trying to think what I want. Maybe a light yellow. So I'm going to mix some warm white with my Turner's yellow. Let's do just some little strokes at the bottom of his scarf pieces. I'm going to take this yellow because it's a little brighter than what I had and just highlight the tips of the star and a little bit here on the top. Okay. All right. What else? I feel like I need to add maybe one right here too. There we go. That helps a lot. And how about I just do the warm white here? I feel like they need to stand out a little more. And we are going to do warm white around the edge. So I'm going to get a nice liner brush for that. So you want a nice thin, bright line. around the outside of the globe here. It doesn't need to go all the way around either. It could just be more on, concentrate on the top of the globe. Let's see. Let's see how that's looking. Yeah. I'm just afraid I'm going to smear something. I have to be very careful. Don't smear your piece. Let it just kind of fade into the edge there. Be careful. Don't smear. Ugh, I feel like I'm going to smear something. I'm just brightening up my snow. Okay. You can do it. You can do it. I'm using my pinky to steady my hand. So yeah, I would recommend you let everything dry before you do this. I'm just doing this for the sake of time. We got to get off here soon. So I want to get this on here before we get off. Oops. You can use flow medium with your paint to help it flow a little better. And then it doesn't also affect the pigment, which is kind of nice. Okay. One last thing I want to do, and I want to put little highlight dots in his eyes, so very carefully, they should be very tiny little dots, so. You don't want them too big. His nose, it's like kind of not standing out very good right there, so I think I'll use a different color to highlight the nose. I'm going to put a little white inside his ears. Warm white. I'm going to fix this here. Okay. Right, he's fun. I keep seeing things I want to do. I'm going to bring that white up here. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see. Oh, snow. That's what we need to finish up on, is snow. We could put little highlight dots on all his berries too. So you just kind of create a little pink with your Naphthol crimson and warm white. And you can make a little pink. Put that on all your berries, a little touch. It does help them stand out a little better. I don't know. I might want to just put a little there too. And his nose. Can't forget his nose. He does need a little highlight on his nose. Okay. Snow. That's the last but not least. Snow. We need snow. I am going to put a little design on his. Just some little X's. Okay. Right. Okay, snow. We need snow. Inside the snow globe, we're going to make our own little snow. We're not going to fleck it. We're just going to do it with the liner brush. So just little dots of snow inside. And some of them can be larger and some can be smaller. You think about a snow globe, and some of them have glitter in them. So you could go back and add touches of glitter. I'm doing it this way so I can kind of control where everything goes and then how big my little snow pieces are. You can go over some of your elements too. You might have to go and brighten up some of these after they've dried. I like to randomly place the snow too, so it's not all like you can have some like little clusters. And some that are just off in La La Land. Remember to bring some of the snow down in this area too. Fun. I feel like I need Christmas music on. So if you guys paint this with me later, make sure you put your Christmas music on. It does help. Okay, we're almost there. What do you think so far? He's cute. He is definitely a puppy. He's a puppy. Who's getting a puppy for Christmas? He's like a little puppy fox. A kit. Someone said that. He's like a kit. So yeah, I'm taking my time doing this part. You want to just keep working through it. Try to make it even as much as you can, like, as far as like snow on that side and snow on this side. Do some little dots, do larger dots, do little clusters. Okay, you guys, he's so cute. I'm having fun. Oh. So I kind of like the idea of maybe doing some flecking on the outside because it does, the outside kind of feels plain. So I feel like something needs to be there, and I don't know if I just need to do some splattering or not, to think about it. Yeah, I think I'll just do some splattering. We'll see how it turns out. If I don't like it, I can always change it, right? I can paint over it. So I'm just going to do it the brush method. I don't normally like to do it this way. I like my little splatter brush. It works like a charm. And I can't find all my splatter brushes. They're not here right now. So I'll try it this way. Yeah, just little flecks on the outside. You want some up in that corner. Come on, a little more. There we go. Okay, that's better. So we got the larger splatter on the inside, or basically it's all the little flecks of snow, right? Smaller splatter on the outside. Okay, well, I think all he needs to finish him off is a little bit of glitter and some rhinestones. But I'll leave you guys to do that on your own. Use your own discretion. You could add little glitter dots. You could glitterify the whole thing. It's just up to you. Make sure and put a barrier coat down though before you put any glitter product over it. I like to use sealer because a sealer. Okay, so the barrier coat, remember, is the fast drying glazed medium. I had to back up the truck a little bit. So fast drying glazed medium is your setting of your pencils, right? And your paint. So make sure everything's dry. Put one coat over everything and make sure you do it very, very lightly. Don't overwork it. Don't go back and forth. Just one coat of fast drying glazed medium. And then once that dries, then you can use like a sealer, an all-purpose sealer, and brush over it and then just sprinkle some glitter over it if you want to do it that way. Or you could use a glitter type product. So I'll just let you guys use your own discretion as to what you want to use there. Just make sure you have a barrier coat to set your pencils and your paint. Okay, so you don't smear anything. All right, signing off. It's Erica Joanne from Erica Joanne Art. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.